youngest.
And Drew Hill join Ian Wright. That's tonight at 10:40.
I'm Holly Lewis on Meridian News in half an hour. The mother of missing businessman Andrew Hoy speaks exclusively. Join us after news at 10.
From ITN News at 10 with Trevor McDonald.
Missing schoolgirls are found safe and well. Shocking new revelation tonight in the Olympic bribery scandal. Thousands of minors take from mania to the brink. Miracle surgery allows a woman to regrow her own jaw. And the British stars hoping to sweep Hollywood's Golden Globes. Good evening. The two 10-year-old girls from Hastings in Sussex who went missing on Tuesday on their way to school are safely back with their families tonight. They were found by police 12 miles along the coast at Eastbourne. A 46-year-old Eastbourne man who is not a relative of the girls was arrested for abducting them. Charlene Lennon and Lisa Hoodless were able to follow reports of their disappearance on television. ITN's Paul Davis reports from Sussex.
This morning, Keith Lunnon was beginning to fear the worst. Tonight, he and daughter Charlene posed for the pictures that said their family ordeal was over. It was late this morning when the three-day search for Charlene and her friend Lisa Hoodless was suddenly called off. ITN was with the Lunnon family when they discovered the girls had been found.
Well, I heard about 2 minutes ago. I was just told by Paul. He just said that they have, you know, basically two girls are found in Eastbourne and a man has been arrested.
A short time later, Charlene Lunnon, in the back of an unmarked police car, was driven into Battle Police Station. It was here the process of gentle questioning would begin. It was also here that she would be reunited with her family. Charlene's friend, Lisa Hoodless, and her family were reunited at a different police station. While the Hoodless family chose to avoid reporters, a jubilant Keith Lunnon attended a police press conference to talk about his joy.
When I first saw her, she ran right up to me and gave me a big hug. And I said to her, I love you. She went, yes, Daddy.
How does it feel to have her back?
Joyful.
I was just shocked, really. I just couldn't believe it. After everything that's happened, I was just stunned. Keith screaming, Mum was nearly crying. Everyone was just full of emotions. I just stood there like, I can't believe it, thank God. That's all I could think was just thank God she's safe.
The Lunnons said Charlene had told them she'd seen their televised appeals for her to come home.
Where she was, she saw us on the television. She knew what we were saying to her.
The police search ended at this block of shops and flats in Eastbourne, 7 miles from the girls' home. The friends were found by detectives who arrested a 46-year-old man.
As regards the person in custody, I can confirm that he is in no way a relative of any of the families. He is a 46-year-old man and he comes from Eastbourne.
After a final gesture of relief and celebration for the cameras, the Lunnon family were able to take their little girl back to the house she left on Tuesday morning. Tonight, Charlene has enjoyed a favourite pasta meal and has been playing with her pet hamster here at her home. Over the next few days, she and her friend Lisa will be talking to specialist police officers who will gently try to piece together the story of the last 3 days. That will come later. Tonight, one little girl was just happy to be home, and before going to bed, she acknowledged the neighbours and reporters who'd gathered to wish her well. Paul Davis, News at 10, Hastings.
The disappearance of Charlene and Lisa rang alarm bells in millions of homes across the country. They went missing after setting off for school as normal on Tuesday. Our South of England correspondent Adrian Britton has followed the hunt for the girls all week and reports now on how the investigation, which only last night seemed to be going nowhere, ended happily today.
School assembly at Christchurch Primary at St Leonard's, where Charlene and Lisa failed to appear on Tuesday morning. In this hall for the past 3 days, they have prayed for their safe return. Today was a Thanksgiving service.
This is the day that the Lord has made, and if we'd heard that sound, we wouldn't have known a couple of days ago whether we could laugh or not. And now we can laugh because we're gladdened.
Each day, as police question parents at the school gate if they'd remembered seeing Lisa and Charlene, The school itself was being asked why it hadn't alerted the girls' parents of their absence. Procedures will be reviewed. It seemed as though every parent, like Godfrey Daniel, the town's mayor, felt personally involved in this story.
I think so many people think it could be their children. Like myself, I'm a parent of 2 young children, and I think one always worries for such vulnerable people, really, at such a tender age.
Along the seafront of Hastings, Gurkha troops rolled in to back up the 300-strong police search team.
And so you're looking for any signs of the 2 girls?
But by now the girls had been missing for 2 nights, and police were beginning to doubt first theories that the 10-year-olds had run away. Today, their relation was shared by the editor of the local newspaper, the Hastings Observer. The missing posters are being taken down. How would he describe this week?
An emotional roller coaster, really. You know, we were quite taken aback by the magnitude of the story. The fact that the media circus descended on Hastings as quickly as it did.
So there are good news headlines to print in this seaside town, as most people here and throughout the country had begun to expect the worst. Adrian Britton, News at 10, Hastings.
The biggest scandal in the history of the modern Olympics deepened on 2 fronts today. An Australian official said tonight that money had been offered to 2 African members the night before Sydney was awarded the Games in 2000. Earlier today, a Libyan member of the International Olympic Committee resigned over further claims that Salt Lake City won the competition to host the Winter Games by bribing committee members. ITN's Joe Andrews reports.
September 93, the night Sydney found it had won the right to stage the 2000 Olympics by just 2 votes over Beijing. What Australians didn't know was that at the last minute, their Olympic Committee president now says he offered 2 International Committee members about £17,000 each. This latest development comes during one of the lowest moments in the Olympic movement's history. It stands for the highest ideals of honour and fair play, except it seems amongst the committee members themselves. 2 have resigned, up to 14 more could follow this weekend, accused of accepting everything from diamond brooches and call girls to free university places. The allegations of bribery surrounding the bidding process have badly shaken the Olympic movement. It's the 114 members of the International Olympic Committee who vote on which cities will host the Games. The allegations have now spread to include a number of bids, including last year's Winter Olympic Games at Nagano in Japan, where helicopter rides and geisha girls were offered, and next year's Summer Olympics to be held in Sydney, where it was straight cash, as we've just seen, as well as the 2002 Winter Games in Salt Lake City, America. The allegations were triggered after one IOC member complained of the extortion and bribery involved in the Salt Lake City bid. It said a highly lucrative property deal was given to an African member, leaving him with $60,000, that cash donations were made to a political campaign of a Chilean member, and scholarships to local universities were given to the children of a member from Libya. Corruption rarely arose when the game was a state event like the Moscow Olympics in 1980. It only came after Los Angeles proved in '84 that the Olympics could make money, big money.
You're talking about an economic impact of hosting Olympic Games between £3 billion and £5 billion, and therefore there are all sorts of business opportunities that fall on the back of that.
The other city that lost out to Sydney was Manchester. Officials there are believed to be thinking about asking for the expenses of making the bid back from the IOC. But there are also calls tonight for Sydney to be stripped of the games they so narrowly won. Joe Andrews, News at 10.
Buckingham Palace confirmed tonight the date for the wedding of Prince Edward and Sophie Rhys-Jones. It'll be Saturday, June 19th. The couple, who announced their engagement earlier this month, wanted to be a family occasion. As expected, it will take place at St George's Chapel at Windsor Castle.